Hello, together again, we're here. Oh, hi guys. Today we're here again on the desktop, and I wanted to talk to you about measurement. I have a big ruler here, and that's very useful for measuring how tall or wide something is. We can measure all kinds of things. We can measure how long something is with a ruler. We can measure how long something takes to do with a watch. We can measure how much with a measuring cup or a measuring spoon if we're doing some cooking. But why do we measure? We need to know how much, how little, how long, how heavy. Ooh. To measure weight, we would use a scale, something like this. And as the weight of something pushes down on it, you can see the dial changes. You see those numbers there? That gives us a measurement of weight. Which brings to mind two things we need to know when we're measuring something. Are we using what we call a standard measurement or a non-standard measurement? They're kind of the opposite. A standard measurement is something that is the same everywhere. So when you look at a ruler and you see the numbers, I have inches on this side and centimeters on this side. Any ruler that I have, whether it's a tape measure like this or one like this, any one that I have in my house and you have in your house and people have in a whole different country, it's always going to be the same size for each inch or each centimeter. And that's what they mean by a standard measurement. My tape measure, my ruler, your tape measure, your ruler are going to be the same. And it's the same if we're measuring the volume of anything. So here's my measuring cup, and 1 cup measure is the same for me as it is for you, whether it looks like this or looks like this, and we have to fill it to the top. Back in the old days, they didn't have measuring cups like this. So somebody's cup at one house might be this size, and somebody's cup at another house might be this size. So if you are going to make a cake and say, add 1 cup of sugar, you would have to go in your cupboard and kind of guess what size cup somebody had at their house. And that might be a little problem because my spoon might be different from your spoon. So when we say a teaspoon or a tablespoon, they could be just about any size at all. So that's why we have standard measurements. And if you have something that looks like this at your house, how much salt or sugar or cinnamon I can put in this 1 teaspoon scoop, it's going to be the same at your house, even if your spoons don't look exactly like mine. Now, non-standard measurements can be fun to talk about too. I have a glue stick here, and I could say, how many gumballs tall or long is my glue stick? Now the trouble is, not all my gumballs are the same size. Suppose you didn't have any gumballs and you were trying to make a glue stick the same size as mine. You would have a little trouble. That's another reason we use our standard measurements of inches and centimeters. If you're doing a lot of cooking, it would be hard to follow a recipe unless you had the measuring spoons and the measuring cups around. If you're trying to measure time, to see how fast you are or slow you are, a watch is a very useful thing, or a stopwatch. You could say, as a non-standard measurement, I'll be with you in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Here's my lamb. 1 shake, 2 shake. Ooh, how long was that? Not very long. I could say, I'll be with you before you can say Jack Robinson. It's not really a very useful measurement. But if I tell you we have 5 more minutes and then we'll go inside, now I can check that 5 minutes on my watch.
And those 5 minutes will be the same on my clock, on your clock, and everywhere.
So think about how you could measure something. If you're trying to measure the volume, would we use a ruler? If we're trying to measure time, would we use a tape measure? Would we use a teaspoon? I don't think so. If you're trying to measure how heavy something is, would you measure with a scale like this? Or would you measure in gumballs? I don't think that would work too well. Your unit of measurement should match what you're trying to measure. So when you walk around and think about measuring things, think about what is the best unit, the best thing I can use to measure with. Would it be something like a ruler? Would it be something like a teaspoon or a measuring cup? Or would it be something like a clock or a scale? Hope you have a chance to measure something, whether it's with a standard measurement or a non-standard measurement. Let's see. How long is my marker? How many gumballs? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, how many inches? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. 4 gumballs are 5 inches long. Now it's your turn. Go around and see what you can measure. Hope you find something interesting to measure. Bye now.